Hello, welcome back to my channel. Just in case you're new here, my name is Kay and I make videos about happy planner planning and budget planning. Today, I wanted to share with you how planning and budgeting, well, all of this just saved my life. And so I'm going to take you back to November of 2023. That's when everything started to change. I have just this very vivid memory of going to see my doctor and making that doctor's appointment, not because I knew what was wrong, but I just knew something was seriously wrong. When my doctor came in, I just told her, it's so hard to look back at this, but I told her, I think I'm dying and I really need your help. And we kind of spoke that day, and I was aware of two things. The first thing is I was seriously overweight. And the second thing was that I was completely burned out. I had no resources, no emotional resources. And the more burned out I became, the more weight I gained. And the more weight I gained, the more burned out I felt. It was just this vicious cycle. And it was a important doctor's visit for me. And what we had decided on that doctor's visit was due to the health complications that could arise due to my weight, I would go on a weight loss medication. And I did. And I started that weight loss medication in December. Actually, I started late December, but really my first full month was January of 2024. And this is my journey on that weight loss medication throughout 2024. I had 172 pounds to lose when I started. 172.6. At my last weigh-in last month, I was down to 75.6. This month, I know I've already lost several pounds in the month of December, which means I'm at my 100 pounds lost milestone. You see my videos. You see how much I still struggle with today when I'm planning. One of the trackers that I use in my planner is what I call a me tracker, and I'll bring one up. And I track each week some important health, me-focused experiences. And that is hydration, taking my vitamins every day, eating nourishing food, and having some kind of movement. And you've seen throughout 2024 the struggles that I still have with this. I wholly credit my weight loss to the medication that I'm on. It is a life-saving medication. By no means is it a quick fix, but what it has done for me, that medication has changed me is, and we're all unique in how we respond to it, but for me, I did notice the first month on the medication that the chatter, the head chatter, the mind noise stopped. And that was huge. My chatter with my eating disorder, my obesity, sounded like this. My chatter told me, don't do things with friends and family because you're ashamed of how you look. My chatter told me I was hungry all the time. I was focused on what does my next meal look like? How can I treat myself with food? And I would go out of my way to treat myself with food. My mind chatter sounded like I'm not worthy to take care of myself, to do special things for myself. That's why in my budgeting videos, you see I always budget for my nails. That's an important part of my healing process, is putting some money aside for my self-care. That's just been a part of the process. So that's kind of what the medication did for me. The next thing that I noticed that started to change when I was on this medication is first the mind chatter went away. I suddenly wanted to do things again. And I hadn't lost it wasn't because I was losing weight. This was early on, from taking the medication. But the next thing it did is a previous version of myself always wore loose clothes, and I always wore dark colors. In fact, I surrounded myself with dark colors. Something that I don't share on here very often is I'm an artist, and I like to create art. And I've never shared you. Well, first of all, I should qualify that, because you've seen my doodles in here. They pretty much suck. I can't draw a real tree or a real person to save my life. My art was always dark, really abstract, mixed mediums, things like that. And you kind of have to tilt your head, I don't know, hang yourself upside down and tap your heels and do 3 circles to get any kind of, relationship to the piece of art, because it's just so abstract. But, and that too was always very dark. I noticed as I was on this journey that I was attracted to lighter colors. For the first time in my life, I liked pink. I've never liked pink, but I liked pink, and pink just kind of started to resonate with me and my womanhood, and white and pastels. And before, if I had a pastel around me, I would want to vomit. I couldn't stand pastels, and all of a sudden I started to like them. And then I went from wearing black clothes all the time to wanting to wear clothes with colors. In fact, I once recorded just kind of a confessional journal with myself as I was documenting my journey early on, that I can't stand to put on my clothes anymore, because when I go into my closet, everything's just dark. And I just couldn't take it. And I remember the first shirt, I think it was a sweater that I bought that was a lighter blue, and how incredible I felt when I wore it. And again, that wasn't because I had lost 100 pounds at that point. It was just because the color felt so good on me. And that's, part of this journey. What I recognized pretty early on in my weight loss is how much my weight in my eating disorder was connected to my money spending. They were hand in hand. Each deeply rooted from experiences that, when these things developed. But overspending was, I've shared that before on my channel, and how learning about Dave Ramsey, which came after my weight loss journey started. I don't think I don't know. I don't know if I would have been open to Dave Ramsey or been able to be as successful as I feel I've been with this method if I hadn't have started that weight loss journey, because they were just so closely wrapped around each other. Getting control of what I was consuming food-wise helped me see there were other areas where I was just overindulging, over consuming, and that was money and things. And so then I also started this Dave Ramsey journey, and I actually learned about Dave Ramsey a little bit before I went that doctor's appointment that day where I saw the doctor, and I was learning about it, but I wasn't into it. And if you see my early videos in 2024, you can see that I was still learning, and that's something that I can share. Let me move this out of the way. I know I'm going to need this again. Okay, whoops, sorry about that. We got cut off. I just had my book fall down and almost spill everything here. Okay, so I was talking about the process of change. I've spoken about this before, but change can happen in an instant. When I went in and saw the doctor and said, help me, that was a moment of change for me. But the process of changing, well, it's a process. And it happens in 4 steps. The first one is knowing. You see me, if you watch my videos, going through the process of change, because I use my planner to research, to look at things, to process things, to learn them. And that's a stage of knowing. And then the second thing is being. And you also see me in my planners, my budget planner, my happy planner, practicing this stage of being that thing, of planning for that thing. And then the third one is doing. This is really important. You don't get to see this in my videos, but when I plan things and when I I'm chewing on things and you're seeing them being expressed in my weeklies or on my currently, I do reinforce that with applying that in my life, in my everyday life. I'm practicing, I'm doing that thing. And then the fourth process is actually the becoming stage. I am becoming that thing. Back in early 2024, I was just starting to move through these stages with some of the things that are important to me. And you've heard them. Weight loss was a priority. I had to do this, or again, I really felt like I was going to die. Money management, getting my money in order. Distress. I was experiencing, again, severe burnout. And there's something else I've been seeking, and I haven't spoken about it as much, and that is to simplify things. This really started to come up. This was an evolution of becoming something bigger than what you are. And in case you're interested, I know I'm really geeking out. Just if this is your first video with me that you've ever watched, just know I am a retired therapist doing therapy primarily with couples, love, intimacy, connectedness, and I'm also a clinical sexologist. So, I speak about this a lot with my clients. I try to apply this a lot in my own life, and I'll share something about this process. So, we all are, traveling in our life, right? And all of a sudden you come to this wall. Boom. Generally we hit it, right? We come to this wall. Think of that day going to see my doctor. Boom. I crashed into the wall. Here's me crashing. I told you I couldn't draw. Okay, so we come to this wall. We have, as human beings, two choices. Number one, we can go back. In many cases, we may run back, right? Away from the wall. Go back to what we were before. When I hit this wall with this day, I could have chosen to not do anything and go back to something that was more comfortable for me, known for me, even in a really dysfunctional way, help me regulate. Or guess what? We can choose to go up the wall. When we choose that path, if you're here and you choose to go up, here's me looking up and pointing my finger. I'm going up. Okay. Sorry. What we're doing is we're moving to a different level. It's a change self, and it's called a transcendent response, where we transcend and we become, well, bigger on a different level. And that this is a transcendent response, but it first, number one, takes knowledge, and then it takes this mindset, this mind shift, and then it takes the practice of, and then we become that thing. And again, if you haven't watched my videos, skim through them. You'll see, just kind of, do this, go back to January and then March, and you'll see this becoming process. I wouldn't have the ability to reflect on this. I wouldn't have the ability to do any of this if it weren't for my planner. Because you see, that's another myth that we hold. We think I can do this all in my head, and it just doesn't work that way. Getting it out, getting some distance from that thing, writing something out allows us to get distance from that thing. It allows us to observe that thing as a witness to it. And it kind of changes the way we see things and the way we approach things, and it opens up more choices and more, yeah, just more options, more solutions. So anyway, this was, things that I knew I was working on in 2024, and these are the phases that I was going through. Weight loss, I definitely tracked in my planner. Money, 100%, I was all over that in my budget planner. And as the year has progressed, I've become better at doing that. I've been able to see, sometimes thanks to those of you that are watching, because you share your tips and strategies with me, I'm able to see by you watching me and your feedback that I'm missing things, or there's a different way to do something, and that's been very important to my doing and practicing. And then the burnout, my gosh, if it weren't for my planner, I don't think I would have been able to go through burnout, and reverse the stages of burnout. Burnout's very serious. Just to let you all know, we have these domains, this pie of life, right? And one of these domains, the many roles we play. So for me, it was a professional. For me, it was a mother. For me, it was a wife. For me, it was a daughter. For me, it was a photographer. For me, it was an artist. We have these domains of life, right? And burnout starts to creep up into one of these domains, and you don't take care of it, right? And it just, burnout, while it can suddenly feel like a revolution one day of, I'm in burnout, it's actually a gradual process with stages, and it just kind of creeps up and sweeps you under. And this is what happened to me. I was fully burnt out here. What I want you to know about burnout is it doesn't stay contained within that slice of the pie. It starts to spread out and spread out. And I know this because of my own personal experience. I know it because I spent a lot of time here. This is my cup of coffee, my first one, by the way. It's not even 3 a.m. and you can see how much I've had. It's very little. I'm going to have some more so I grab a better command of the English language. I spent years here educating myself, learning about things. And when we learn, again, it doesn't mean we can apply it. We just know it, right? Doesn't mean we can apply it. To apply it, we have to move. We have to continue to move. To become it, we have to move through all of these stages. So, but I spent a lot of years here. But then also in professional practice, what I want you to know is that what a lot of people don't know is the spreading of this comes into these other domains. And sometimes when I would see couples and they'd be on the edge of divorce, and I'd ask them about these other domains, and I find out they're in burnout here, and I say, it's spread into the domain of love, of connectedness. You don't need a divorce, you just need to work through your burnout. It's a really, really nasty thing, burnout, because it will just wholly consume somebody and all of their domains, to where they're just completely shut down. Because that's what burnout does, by the way. Burnout shuts you down. You go into this power save mode. It's a form of disconnection, but what it's all about is you're just trying to save your power. So yeah, anyway, this is a really, should I put this in my planner? This is me, and it looked like this. There's nothing linear about any of this. And that's the great thing about starting this YouTube channel and sharing my planners with you and the work that I do in my planners. It's so much about me. It's me documenting. It's me learning and being and doing and becoming these things that have saved my life. And if you're starting these journeys, I encourage you, be brave. Go for it. Start it. Recognize it's going to look like this. Recognizing you're doing the work of this and you're moving through this, and it just needs time and dedication. Now, all of this and the ways that my planner has helped me do this has led me to something, and I was doodling about it. I was making some notes yesterday from my planner, and that is where I'm headed. And I've spoken about 2025, and my focus word is purpose. I'm really trying to be very intentional with my health, intentional with my money, intentional with how I'm managing stress. And then I was really looking at simplicity because I'm feeling drawn to simplicity. And it may have a lot to do with our move and our smaller house, the things I want to focus on, family, connections. So I made some notes about simplicity. This is a really talky, chatty video. Sorry about that. It's not a lot of planning, but it's just something that I wanted to share because it kind of leads up to this little impromptu, very quick spread. Yeah, what I laid out yesterday. I used a couple of stickers in this spread. I was encouraged by a fellow YouTuber, the Budgeting Baker, who always does these beautiful spreads with stickers and things. And I'm just not good at it. I don't, yeah. Anyway, it's okay. I played with it, and that's what's important. But yeah, I was looking at simplicity and what that means to me. And bottom line, I put this last on the page after I did these pages, but bottom line is I really recognized it's a process of transforming my mindset. Again, going back to the overconsumption of food, of money, of how I spent my money, of things that I surrounded myself with. I know that these things was a particular mindset that I had at that point in my life, and my mindset has changed. And those, taking away the overconsumption or the need to fill something that was empty, has now been replaced with a lightness, with a feeling that I don't want to overconsume. So I was really looking at what I was knowing. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of knowing in my planner. Is, am I seeking simplicity, or am I feeling compelled to minimalism? And I was really looking at the difference to the two. And I, at the end of knowing, I found they're entirely two different things. And it was simplicity. It's simplicity that I'm seeking. So I definitely know for me, simplicity has a lot to do with decluttering. And well, that's just about survival, if you want to be honest, because this is a very small house and I have a lot of things. So I don't want to surround myself with things anymore. I don't feel the need to surround myself with things anymore. So decluttering, and that helps me rethink my priorities. It's really helping me to stop and take inventory and ask myself, is this serving me today? Is this a good fit for who I am today? I don't want to surround myself with things that aren't a good fit anymore. And I really recognize that I'm finding joy in the small things. You see me in my planner each day do just a grounding technique for myself in the morning, where I express gratitude for something small and simple in my environment. And I'm no longer seeking those grand experiences to experience joy. I'm now, better equipped to find them in the small things. And that's become a very meaningful experience for me that I wanted to document here. Slowing down. Here's the truth of connectedness, of being able to connect with other people, including yourself, is it takes time. And it takes you to slow down and be present in the moment. So I really recognize that slowing down aspect. Focusing on what matters the most is, for me, is created by having a meaningful and intentional lifestyle. So I do a lot of that work in my planner. how, you know, the intentionality I want to apply to the things I'm creating, my daily experiences. And that's really helped me focus on what matters the most. I did this last. So for me, I wrote down some goals that I had set out for myself for 2025. Declutter spaces for peace and joy. Excuse me. Streamlining my schedule with intention. You've seen me on my to-do list really kind of focus in and give myself the grace that on busy weeks, I'm going to have less to do on my to-do list. And when I have more time, I can increase that to-do list. I do like making a to-do list because it motivates me and it helps me feel accomplished when I'm able to check things off. It also helps me stay focused. Focus on my relationships and my relationship time, attention, all of these things, and cultivating more gratitude, increasing the gratitude in my life. And then this is kind of when I was researching, you know, what's the difference between simplicity and minimalism, just making a declarative statement that they are not the same thing. Simplicity is about prioritizing what matters the most, where minimalism is about removing what is unnecessary. So they are different. This is a focus and intentionality, and minimalism is creating things in your environment, just removing what's not necessary and bringing in the necessary. So that's just kind of what I came up with when I was, because again, I'm all about the research, knowing that's an important step for me to complete the cycle of change. And then I did go back into my 2025 planner. When I laid out all of my goals, I just did an inventory check. If this is what I want to do, how am I achieving that? Is my planner set up correctly for 2025? Can I practice? Can I do this thing? Can I become this thing? Because again, it's going to be all about, you're going to hear a lot about this in 2025 from me. So when I went through those goals that we created together, some things that I found in my 2025 planner setup was I definitely have the goal of recognizing special events for people I care about. I have the goal of making homemade cards to recognize those events for, and this is definitely part of relationship development for me. 25 acts and 25 times in 2025 has a lot of relationship development in them. Date night with hubby. And then I put another one that I really want to capture more in 2025, and that is one of my husband's love languages. I can say a lot about the love languages, okay? About the lack of credible research and all of that. But anyway, what they do provide, the love languages, what I do like about the love languages is it gives us a common language to discuss it. And I'm pretty aware that hubby's love language is time and touch. So it's something that I feel is more easy for me to leave behind. I don't have the same drives that he does for touch. And so I really want to focus more on that with him, making sure I'm seeing that need in him and I'm paying attention to it. The next one was intention. And again, I'm just taking an inventory of where am I seeing that in my 2025 planner setup. And I definitely, again, it came up with 25 acts, 25 times, and 2025 is all about intention. My 2025 goals, that goal page that we made together is all full of intention. And my planners themselves, using my happy planner, using my budget planner, are also backing up, are doing the doing action items of intentionality. And then I went through a purpose. Well, I captured that right away for the word of the year, and 25 acts, 25 times in 2025 is all about purpose. So you can see it. It's covering. This was a really good spread in 2025 for me because it's hitting these major areas of where I want to work on. And then again, my planners, both my happy planner and my budget planner, are focused in on purpose. So yeah, I felt after I laid this out and I kind of took stock of where I am, I reevaluated my 2025 planner setup to make sure I'm covered, to make sure I'm focused and I'm able to do these things. And I think that I am. So that's just kind of a very wordy video on my 2024, the season of 2024, and where I started and where I'm ending. And yeah, I can say today, again, I'm 100 pounds down. I have my money under, well, it's being managed in a way I've never been able to manage it before. I am no longer experiencing burnout. I love my work. I've always loved my work. Burnout actually doesn't occur because you have a lack of love or passion about what you're doing. But I'm not experiencing burnout. And if I do start to experience burnout, just because of the demands, I try to catch it when it's in phase 1 and reverse it, so it doesn't spread out like it did last time. And again, I just can't stress enough getting some distance from these things. Writing it down in my happy planner and my budget planner has made all the difference. And now you're going to see me in 2025 really looking to this. I've started to film more around the house of how I'm simplifying my life, of how I'm setting up a home environment that feels cozy, that feels comforting to the soul, that feels, expresses the love that my husband and I have and the love for our family. I'm creating that environment, and it's really causing me to change a lot. And change is hard, and it's hard work. So I just want to continue to capture that. And I don't know, maybe somebody watching this video is on a similar path to me, as me. If you are, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to exchange ideas with you. I'd love to support you. It's an interesting and actually one of the most amazing times in my life. And I feel very blessed to be experienced this. I recognize all of this is a privilege. All of this can change in a heartbeat with a life-changing event, or if I didn't have the emotional resources or tolerances that I've been able to develop. I just know that, yeah, it's a gift. So I want to be grateful for it and recognize that I'm definitely blessed to be able to process through and work through these things. And my goodness, if you have stayed to the end of this very chatty video, I want to thank you, express my gratitude for you being on YouTube here. I couldn't have done this without you. And I feel like I've made some genuine friendships here, and I'm thrilled about that because, you know, relationship development, cultivating friendships with other women has not been something that I prioritized in my life, and I want to change that. I do want to form friendships and meaningful friendships, and that's just another exciting thing that I hope is going to continue to grow in 2025. Okay, on that note, happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday morning, and it's a little before, actually, it's a little after 3 a.m. now, and I'm going to drink my coffee, and then I'm just going to start my workday. I hope that, again, the week is treating you nicely, and until the next time we speak, may you be blessed.